I starting live.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good afternoon. Welcome back again to this continuing conversation. Way to Zimbabwe. Is Zimbabwe at the crossroads? Who is at the crossroads? As we look at Zimbabwe, and you take your lens, sharpen it, clean it, look at what is happening. We just learned that President Zuma has sent the two ministers, one Minister of State Security, the other the Minister of Defense and Military Veterans. We now know for certain that President Zuma has spoken to President Mugabe. President Mugabe is reported to be confined. What is confinement in terms of law and in terms of public power? When you say a president is confined, it means he is no longer free to do the things that you and I do. So it implies a limitation of rights. So there is a limitation in place. And the person who is limiting his rights, the freedom to move, is a person who would be his subordinate 2 days ago. So something has happened that will precipitate a foreign state and a foreign head of state to send a team to Zimbabwe. What could be the dispute that would lead a subordinate limiting his senior in terms of movement? This is unheard of. This is unprocedural, unprecedented. I think President Mugabe would argue that the people of Zimbabwe gave me the baton, and that baton I have to deliver at the next election. So any impairment, qualification of the rights associated with this transmission of power, that alteration is unconstitutional, illegal, ab initio. That's his argument. Notwithstanding, what is on the ground is a reality that we are all trying to navigate through to better understand under what circumstance can the army intervene, call you a criminal as a citizen, deprive you of your right, and the government can be called constitutional. Can a constitutional state degenerate into a military junta? If so, what will be the prescripts of that junta? Charlie Hills, any latest news yet? We don't have anything further than what we have heard, that President Zuma has dispatched a team to Zimbabwe. President Mugabe is confined to his house. I don't know which house, but it's true that he can only go to the toilet and perhaps look at his garden. And he can't move. So that is now known. So if you look at the press statement, so that we are all together on it, let's try to look at it. Or there is something live now, is it?
And fair elections in Zimbabwe.
No, it's a. I think it's so. Yeah, let's just try to get the statement from South Africa, then we can then respond to some of the questions that are being raised. So I think it's important that we look at the statement. Yeah. To all media news editors, 15th of November 2017. Update on the Zimbabwe situation. President Jacob Zuma, in his capacity as chair of SADC, is sending special envoys to Zimbabwe and Angola in light of the unfolding situation in the Republic of Zimbabwe. The president is sending the Minister of Defense and military veterans, Ms. Nosiviwe Mapisa Ngakula, and the Minister of State Security, Advocate Bongani Bongo, to Zimbabwe to meet with President Robert Mugabe and the Zimbabwe Defense Force. Whether it is two centers of power now, and acknowledgement by President Zuma that in Zimbabwe the power center is being contested, that there is Zimbabwe Defense Force and there's President Mugabe on the other. There is no mention of former Vice President Mnangagwa. President Zuma spoke to President Robert Mugabe earlier today, which is today, who indicated that he was confined to his home, but said that he was fine. So, President Mugabe is reportedly confined, but fine. So, this confinement, by any nature, implies limitation of rights. He can't do as he pleases. South Africa is also in contact with the Zimbabwe Defense Force. The special envoys will also be sent to the Republic of Angola, to the Republic of to see President Joao Lourenço, chairperson of the SADC organ on politics. Defense and security, to brief him on the situation. President Zuma has reiterated his call for calm and restraint, and for the ZDF to ensure that peace and stability are not undermined in Zimbabwe. SADC will continue to monitor the situation closely. Okay, that's where we are. So this is what is being said. Somebody says, is Mugabe your brother? You report like a puppet. I think it means me, that I'm reporting like a puppet, that in reading this statement, I am displaying aspects of puppetry. That's how things can get low down. Pete Myers, Sky News reports Grace is in Namibia. Politics is not a dirty game to this Chiwenga guy. He played it smart, well done. Comrade Kuvea, stay blessed. So, this is what we have. And let Mugabe go, we are tired. I think let's understand what is going on so that we all may have the same sense to celebrate, not celebrate and then we find ourselves worse than where we were before. Ish Msipa, if I may ask you, Mtuma, what is your take on those youth what is your take on those youth rally speeches delivered by the President and the First Lady? Do you think they benefited the youth, or they were just to attack the other faction? I think when you look at a harvest, you always try to identify the seed. What was the seed of the interfaith rallies? One may ask. Was it to do good or to fight another? I think it is clear, as was clear in the case of Joyce Mujuru, that those rallies and how they were choreographed and who was the youth, who was not the youth, were actually meant to produce a harvest. What was the harvest intended to be? I think the harvest, it was clear, would be someone's head or some other people's head, or a change of the narrative, because anyone who put that scheme in place actually knew and ought to have known what the consequences sought were. So I don't think they were innocent rallies. What I'm not sure whether President Mugabe had constructive knowledge about what this was all about. Because some people can become accomplices to a project that they actually have no idea about. Fafi Gwendi, Army officials coming through to the main UZ campus for a student interface. Official word from Dean of Students. Rewelo Masulani, all this started with an ice cream. Muluya Kampeta, for how long this will continue? Let us know what is really happening. Think what is happening on the ground. We now know that on the ground there is something at play. What is at play? What is at play is that President Mugabe is confined. I don't think willingly. I think he has been told to stay put while the army is doing its work. So far, some people have been apprehended by the army, and presumably they are now having to respond to allegations. What's next for President Mugabe? Calling out to people in Zimbabwe, we would like to hear from you. Record your voice messages to our WhatsApp number. I think it's on the screen. Shane Karim, what is Zuma team coming to do when all this time they failed to intervene? We ran the dust road alone. Wakuru, you must be tired. Thank you for your broadcast, Myla Chris. Who is this man? Tanyaradza Wanashe Mapingure. I guess he means me. Frank Tatenda Takawira Fair. There's been nothing normal about Zimbabwe in the past 20 years. No currency, 90% unemployment, no meaningful development. EM back, comrade, what is streaming now? Actually, I've been following CNN and BBC, spreading uncredible updates following the situation going on in Zimbabwe. Must be Mawere. This is Adviti. Boni Chimanikire, welcome. Let Mugabe go. We are tired of dictatorship. Museveni of Uganda is next. I look the way how Zimbabwe people are suffering in South Africa is due to the greedy Mugabe. No matter how good dancer are you, you need to leave the floor. Gogo Allen, I've heard that he's negotiating so that his wife leaves the country. Is it true? We hear from other sources that his wife is in Namibia. It's not verified yet, but it may be the case that she's not there. Tuko Angala, where are you as you report in Zim or somewhere else in South Africa? Nyasha Romeo, amen, amen. Marvin Chibi, history in the making. I'm hearing Grace is in Namibia. How true is that? We don't know. It could be. And are you in Zim? Mtorewe Nau. I'm not in Zim. I'm in South Africa. Coyote Williams, Zimbabwe deserve a couple new leases of life. Dennis Mwenye, greatest move. Are you also confined, Osego? I'm not confined. Jason Mapisa, no country intervened during 2008. Vote and Gukura they must not come to Zimbabwe. Who are you? I guess he's asking me. I am who I am. James Jim is watching. Arnold Mere, noise in town, civilians throwing stones at townhouses. Just now, can you confirm that? If anyone knows about the stone throwing, please pass it on. Mugabe thought Zimbabwe was for his...
They can record videos.
If you can record it, please give us something. Thought Zimbabwe was for his family. Honorable Sage Boy, Bolton Bolt. Leave Mugabe alone, guys. He is the president of Zimbabwe. Sean Chidziva, they must not include Mugabe's friend Zuma. No, Kwete. Arnold Mero, town, meaning Harare townhouse. People are now throwing stones right now. Take pictures, Arnold, and they just pass them on. They attract the other functions. I like how Mutuma calmly reads and responds to the rude comments. Classic. Makucha, thank you. Let Mugabe go. He made Zimbabwe people to suffer a lot. Daniel Due, I'm just happy that Ghana is on the streets. We had enough of ZRP terrorizing people. Maximum respect to Zimbabwe Army. Malcolm Randi, welcome. Stoliso Moraka, Ndabane Shiri watching, welcome. Michelle Kenneth, welcome. Dawood Samant Mugabe will go to his friend dictator Museveni. Wakju Sam. I suspect the whole thing to be a well-planned setup for installing Miss Mugabe for president. I don't think so. Tough Mark, he understands how to deal with lunatics. Osigo, we've always understood what's going on in Zimbabwe. People are suffering because of Mugabe's regime. Let Zimbabwe be liberated. Let the people be free. Let the army control the situation. Faith Mugabe must go and stay in Uganda with Museveni. It's about time we've been waiting for. Molly Piri watching. Interface rallies was to do away with the war vets and mobilize support from youth, since politics is the game of numbers. Proportionally, youth surpass war vets in numbers. Go out there on the ground, show us. The youth rallies were instituted to counter the advocacy consultative meetings which Mnangagwa was conducting in the country, which they allege that he was using the platform to propel him to the highest office. Rato Rogers Mugabe, you're welcome here to your brother. Kiromo Rantau, good for Zimbabwe. Have you heard anything about soldiers in other parts of the country, or is it only in the city center? I've heard something for Bulawayo, but not for the other centers. Praise Mpov, military force all the way. Isaac Ungwe, is it true that 2 cops were killed around 2:30? We heard something that something happened at Chombo's house. He apparently had private security and also national security, and there was resistance, and there was fire there, and one, I think, or 2 of his guards were died on the spot. That's what we are hearing, no confirmation yet. What are your thoughts on everything that's going on, Mr. Mawere? I think Zimbabwe is a classic case of a failed state, where you had a president, or you have a president who's still trying to believe that it's a democratic state. What this enterprise confirms, that Zimbabwe is naked. Actually, Zimbabwe degenerated into a minimalist state, an animal state, where each one who had any relationship with public power would use it for their own benefit, to punish, to reward, and these people actually became little gods, while President Mugabe was watching, apparently oblivious to what was taking place in the country. So Boni, it's an event that is people have been waiting for too long. Some had given up hope. So whatever the end objective, some people say today is a historic day, because people who may want mob justice, people may want revenge, and the manner in which this issue is being executed has some precision, has some finesse, implying that there were people at work, while other people were interfacing. Other people may have been conspiring. We don't know to what extent the conspiring has to do with the broader Zimbabwean public. That is you and me. So, without any details, at this stage, people say, when you are climbing a mountain, you go up in steps. People just want to take a breath and digest and absorb what has already taken place. So that's my take. I can't speak on behalf of others. I can only speak on my own behalf. So my take, where I come from, is that this is a historic event. This is a step that ought to be thought through, and maybe make sure that the end game is what people expect. Because we may have the same dreams, but the end game can very easily be different. Cosmos, Zuma wants to see Zimbabwe suffer, so all the investors will go to them. Neo, God moves him. Amitsepiso, Peslo, do you think this has some Western influence in it? I think there will always be that element, that when you see any change, people always default to foreign influence. So where the truth lies, I don't know. But it will be inhuman for people not to import their own characters or shadowy characters into it. So who do the army recognize as official now? I think what we are hearing is that the army recognizes President Mugabe still as the leader. Arnold Mere, Dara Amurari, ya Murikushanda, Tatenda Mabungu. Does anyone have pictures of Jonathan Moyo? I heard he was badly beaten. I also saw something said you must inbox to get the pictures, but it appears that the pictures don't look good from what I have read. Gerald Dixon, peaceful transition, please. Vice President should be given his rightful place. I guess we'll know what happens. Coyote Williams, the new president should just rally all Zimbabweans, whatever their color, creed, or affiliations, and assure them of a country where everybody will be treated equally. Zuma and Mugabe are thieves. All the people's wealth has perished because of these guys. Sooner another regime change in South Africa. Shane nyika yedu ya Zimbabwe. President Mpofi, he really needs to feel sorry for that generation who have been suffering. What is the reality in Zim now? I think it's an unfolding reality. Lobagang Mpako, do you welcome the intervention by SADC for a peaceful and bloodless transition? This question is actually directed at me. I think whatever happens, Zimbabwe's future and its better days are yet to come. People have gone through hell. So anything that can lift the ground higher so that people can operate from a higher ground than where they are operating from, I think it will welcome. Whoever intervenes towards that cause, nobody can ever say that that's intervention too many. Valentine Tafumane is watching. Mutenda O'Neill, Zuma should sit down. He'll say, don't be a nuisance way. Kroman Randao, I salute S. Lumumba too. Faith Gandu, is Mujuru coming back? That one I don't know, but I think the bus stop where she was supposed to pick up her ticket, they have passed that already. Now there are new characters. I don't know whether she will take a reverse gear and pick up where she left. What a wonderful day. No matter Zetarapi on the road. Proseka Chagaga, watching Papa. Tinei Mazoro, we wanted Grace. She should face the charges. Swelani Moyo, stone throwing could trigger bloodbath. Let ZANU-PF massage go be this business. After all, they are putting ZANU-PF back. Tenjiwe Kumalo, we need change. The country is falling apart. Will the army allow for transition through the ballot? From what I'm hearing, it doesn't seem the army wants to interfere with the process of deciding who should govern. What they don't want is what they are calling criminals. Veronica Agnes Mugabe must go home 7 next. Isham Sipa, if I may ask, Mutuma, what is your take on this youth rally speeches? Okay, I've answered that one. Mugabe, Inka, Adenkanye, Mugabe is history. Thank you for saving Mugabe from himself. Thank you for saving Africa from one of our embarrassment. This is good for Zimbabwe. Kavi Mangwiro, President Mugabe can step down, but that will be the beginning of another struggle. I hear Chinamasa is arrested. True, I don't know about Chinamasa. That would be strange. Mr. Mao, do you have any idea why General Jenga was in China recently? Could it be linked to this move he just made? I don't think so, but he was in China. I'm not sure what he was doing, but the bilateral relationship between China and Zimbabwe. Could you please educate me? How are the people of Zimbabwe going to benefit through this regime change? And what if Mugabe retaliates? Are we ready for a civil war? That's a benefit is always difficult. I think we always think of every action producing a benefit. But I've learned that where matters of state are concerned, because most of us actually don't know what a government is and what it ought to be. So it becomes very difficult for us to be able to say there is a benefit or no benefit. Yes, the people who are in the theater, like any belligerent, will always be the harvester of that change. There are people who feel they own it because they participated in it. There are people who may seek to replace the very people they are undermining for corruption. So life is always strange, that we always get the governments we deserve. There will be new characters, there will be new players. But I think what some people are saying is when one player is permanently on the driver's seat, then others may not know what it means to drive a car anyway. So what they're saying is let's democratize this enterprise so that all of us have an equal shot to be in government or outside government. Minyaraj Chisara, as the army actually taken over, we now know that Mugabe is in confinement. And that way, if not for the army, he will not be in that condition. Whereas Mugabe is at his house, we will miss his courts, don't celebrate too early. Do you have an idea why General Chikungu was in? I answered that. Kulacha Misa is watching. Zebi Mronzi is Zuma next. I think South Africa is a different case, but Zuma's term is coming to an end in December to be certain. Yeah?
Kulacha Misa got to be updated.
Ani?
Kulacha Misa.
Kula?
First one is.
Oh.
Got to be updated.
Okay.
Got to be updated.
Oh, and Kula?
Chamis.
Oh, Kulacha Misa.
No. No. Sorry. That's Kudam Sasio.
Yeah, Caro Wish story. I thank God for keeping me to see this historic change. Fortunes, are you coming back to Zim? Yeah, certainly. I've been to Zim many times. Sarah Jones, what is the next step? What happens now? Who lives today? I think that we don't know. What is the next step? I think the people on the ground may actually know what the next step is. But like anything, something always goes wrong. And we can bet something will go wrong. So there may be more deaths than we think. There may be more dislocation than we think. And Michele Ngwenya, is it true that Chuhuri has been arrested? That's what we are hearing. That Chuhuri has been one on the target list, but we don't know whether it's true. Shepard Mchuru, these activities marks the beginning of the end. I think that's what we've said before. Because I'm aware you can get your Shabani Mashawa back. I think that's what has been remarked before. But it's not the objective of this enterprise. Has anyone been killed yet? Yes, I think we now know that there may be 1 or 2 deaths that have occurred. Brian Magur, what is the worst case scenario if the army succeeds in effecting a coup? Do you think there is an answer to that?
The coup story.
Yeah.
Obviously, isn't it? Sadak is on standby. So obviously, can we say there could be a war as such?
No, they said the coup succeeds.
If it succeeds.
Yeah. What is the worst case scenario?
That you can answer
Eh?
that you can answer.
No, if it does succeed, it's got significant implications
Of course,
on the rule of law, constitutionalism. Because there you go. Someone believes you're a criminal. They don't have to suffer the burden of going to a criminal court or lodging a complaint in the normal course of business. So you now are guilty as charged, and you are not on your own. So it's not easy to speculate, but the moment you've tasted blood, you always want blood. And it's not so easy for people to look at these problems simplistically, because there's two parties. One party being the one where the generals are. The other is a party where this issue of democracy has been sort of practiced. So when you look at the army, what are they saying? They are saying our injury is a partisan injury. It's not a national injury. So we need to put a fence around it. And when you put a fence around it, then you actually can get somewhere. So Elani Moe says, Mawere, you need a rest. Personal well-being, Doda. Take yourself out of media for good 6 to 8 hours, Doda. Too much confusing news up here. Kasukwe arrested or he fled. Some people are saying he fled. Honorable Nelson Chamisa, welcome. That's Tinai Zenenga Senior, welcome. Becky Temba Maziwanyika, we want you back to Mawere. Thank you. Sarah Jones, Angonu Tete. Too much confusing. Sarah Jones. So we have discussed the worst case scenario. What is the best case scenario that can come out of this, regardless whether there's a coup or not a coup? From my own prism, the best case is that there is a transition to bridge between now and elections. That people, the army stays outside the civilian arrangement. Then the civilian side, the challenge we face is that the succession is prescribed. Right now, there are 2 vice presidents. One sort of interim, the other substantive. So you have Mpoko and the Senate President, Ms. Mazonga. So, of the 2, I don't think the army will be happy if Mnangagwa is not back. That's what it looks like, although they have not said so. The best way one would then handle is to say, if there is no succession inbuilt in this whole arrangement, then the people of Zimbabwe, I don't know how best to consult them, because now you are saying what is certain is that Mugabe's bid, attempt, because all these interface rallies were really forward-leaning. He was eyeing 2018 vote. So I'm not too sure what Mugabe has in mind, but the effect of this is to make Mugabe no longer eligible, although the constitution makes him eligible. But I think what is coming is that President Mugabe's tenure has been permanently impaired. It's a qualified relationship to government. This is what I read, and that would be the best case outcome, where the president himself says, I'm tired. The events of the last 2 weeks have taught me one thing, that the sooner I vacate the office, the better it is for Zimbabwe. So I can see one scenario where this outcome becomes possible, and it's already plausible, but it has to become possible, and there's need for buy-in. Shepherd Mijuru, let all influential people or politicians ask the army if their agenda is a national agenda or not. National agenda where people democratically elect a leader of their own, regardless of whether the people went to war or not. That's again, I think, another conversation that has to take place urgently to better understand what the press statement meant. Zimbabwean army has said President Robert Mugabe and his wife have been taken into custody after gunfire was heard near his compound and troops seized control of the state broadcaster. Loud explosions were heard in Harare in the early hours of Wednesday after military vehicles rolled into the capital, triggering speculation of a bloodless coup. The blast and gunfire came hours after military chief warned the army could step in, and the political crisis sparked by 93-year-old Mugabe firing his vice president and likely successor Emerson Mnangagwa earlier this month. The general had demanded an end to a page in the ruling ZANU-PF party, which appeared to be paving the way for Mr. Mugabe's 52-year-old wife, Grace, to succeed him. In a statement read on state TV, Major Moe said, Comrade Mugabe and his family are safe and sound, and their security is guaranteed. We are targeting criminals around him who are committing crimes that are causing social and economic suffering in the country in order to bring them to justice. Peo Oremeng watching. Sarah Jones, thank you. Safe, thank you. Kleto, thank you. Jonas Muronga, help me understand why Mugabe don't want to leave power. I think there is a public view, and there is a view that is informed by what Mugabe has been saying over the years. Mugabe has been saying that he is in government to promote the interests of the people of Zimbabwe, and that his job is not yet done. He will continue to do so to keep things going. Just hello?
My brother,
My brother.
is the coup now complete?
I think from what we are hearing, it's a work in progress.
Mnangagwa is already in the state house.
Have they announced now?
Well, that's what they say. From the all international thing, they said the vice president is back, the one who was sacked 1 week ago. And Mugabe, we hear, is talking to our brother Zuma to agree on going into together.
All together?
Yes.
Zuma and Mugabe.
Yeah, and Mugabe is telling Zuma, I am not leaving without you.
Oh, okay. But what we are hearing is that Mugabe, Zuma sent the Minister of Defense and the Minister of State Security
Yes.
to Zimbabwe. But he did speak to President Mugabe,
Yep.
who said he is fine but confined.
Yeah, no one wants to have a 93-year-old man if you have any brains, but also even the support you may have will be eroded if you had a 90-year-old man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he is confined. You don't want him to cause any trouble, but they will not harm him. About his wife, I'm not so sure. She has many admirers, even in South Africa.
Yeah, the rumor is that maybe you can check in Namibia. That the rumor is that she's in Namibia.
She's already in Namibia.
That's what the gossip is.
I have my cousins in Namibia. I speak to them.
Yeah, just check for us because I think.
Anyway, the coup is against her, as we know. It's not against Mugabe.
Yeah, they want to finish here.
Mugabe is not a bad man.
Yeah.
In Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
It's his wife who's the problem. Okay, my dear brother. If you
Okay.
need anything new, let me know.
All right.
Once it is complete and the we know that the minister of finance, who is her own choice,
Yeah.
is under proper arrest, is not at home. He's in jail. His house, his doors were.
Oh, we're damaged, yeah.
Anyway, let's hope for the best.
Let's hope. Hope is all we have.
You know, I was going to Zimbabwe on the 29th of this month,
Okay.
but I think that is off now for the time being.
Yeah, I think by the 29th, I think this seems to be like a contained, managed system. Yeah, managed. Yeah, so
Mnangagwa has organized it very well.
yeah, they seem to have organized it well.
So let's hope for the best anyway, my brother.
Are you in Malaysia or in Uganda?
I'm in Kampala. I will not go to Malaysia before I come to South Africa.
All right.
You by then you know much more.
By then we should have something, yeah.
Inshallah, this is fight as we come into South Africa. Inshallah.
All right.
Okay, my brother.
Okay, thanks. Dani Mchirawo, Mtuma Mawere, you were wrong with your comments all this week. Please shut up. Hey, I hope you know what you are saying. You are saying I must shut up, I must be right. I must say what you want me to say so that I'm correct. And you are the new judge, you are the new sheriff of Facebook. Is that what you are trying to say, Danny? Or you are saying something? Stefan Dennis Nellon's page. Hi, how are you? How is the United States? I hope you are doing okay with Mr. Trump. We may need some help from on the tweeting side, Stephanie. We now know that Trump will win the Guinness Book of Records for tweeting and for making the media people redundant in the United States. We are still on Facebook, not Twitter as Trump would want us to be. And I got a lot of comments here. President Zuma, Adrian Magnified, is sending ministers to who? He's sending ministers to Zimbabwe to meet with President Mugabe. They don't mention about ED in the itinerary, but I guess if he's in Zimbabwe, they may be able to touch base with him. Here, what is the intervention by Zuma all about? I think he has sent people to do fact-finding because there's so many stories in the public space. Some of them are fake news, some of them are real. So I think he's sending his ministers to get a first-hand view on what the actors themselves are saying, whether there's any convergence or intersection, or whether this is they are going for broke. Each man for himself and God for us all. John Mazumai, Zuma is going there to save his thieving body. Gerald Goliath, Zuma must leave our country alone. Right now we are abused in SA, so we need to go back after this liberation. Franchi, what happens if they go ahead with a coup? For example, if they kill Mugabe, who will retaliate? I think you are right to put all plausible scenarios on the table. But so far, the people on the ground are saying something else. The people on the ground are saying that the coup is not against Mugabe, but the people associated with Mugabe of late. That Mugabe seemed to have been captured by people who are not worthy of being associated with him because of the struggle for independence. Once he's dead, I don't think the other SADC countries will care. If the generals agree to a meeting, then it will be their last. Around Gaikandi. Franchi, what happens if they go ahead with it? Yeah. Sharon Mashawe is watching. Nelly Nelson, we've come back. Can we come back in Zim today? I guess the few days will tell. Imagine how it affects tourism. This is bad, honestly. At this stage, I don't think people are worried about tourism. They are worried about who will be the last man standing when the storm is over. And the storm will be over soon. I think a transitional leadership is needed while we are waiting for the election. The first lady led to all this. Instead of addressing things that are of importance to this country, she was busy rubbishing and dressing Vanuakuru. We need jobs. Our own currency, everything is dead. The country is broke and dead. Taneta Mdara. Sharon Rita, welcome. Rafa Moyo, welcome. Simbarashe Mnemba. Muzawa, do you have boots on the ground in Harare? Surely you would have that and help confirm reports coming through from Zim. Thanks for committing this much time to focus on the current situation. Thank you, Shepherd. Thank you, Simbarashe Mnemba. That was Mr. Mawere for me. I do not see it as historical, even unless change of guard as topic. What if Mugabe is reinstated? Yes, I think there will be a lot of disappointment, and people are clear. I think as far as social media is concerned, where I'm seeing the anger, the outrage, and the anticipation, the pregnancies. This is 9 months pregnant. Now they just want the baby. They are not interested in how you became pregnant. They're just interested in the baby. So this is what I see. Yeah, people just want to reclaim their lives, to be somebody, not to wait for this guy in the front page, back page, mid page. They're just saying, look, let this nonsense end. So I see a lot of traffic. Even if I wanted to say something different, I can see there is a lot of air in the atmosphere. So, because if we wanted to have an honest discussion about the future that I want, I know some people will be disappointed, because I think right now people are saying it's not the time to talk about the future. Now, what time is it? It's time for change. Whatever the change is, people are saying, no, don't think we are going in. Milton Stolle, welcome. Lionel Simbi, welcome. Antonio Mufunde, Garwe, Arijge, Chebamba, Charo, Chino Chikanirongo, Round Guy Kandi, Kudasha Misaita, say Manji. Round Guy Kandi, only watching, I guess. Farai Mabaro, a GNU is the way forward. Zimbabwe requires all its citizens to be represented in the new dispensation. Opposition parties, ZAPU, ZANU, and the white Zimbabweans who had relinquished their right to representation in Zimbabwe. John Smith Nevele, we need to pray. Pardon, Magai, I don't think we are even ready for free and fair elections in 2018. We need serious electoral reforms. A transitional government is the way to go, pending the electoral reforms. But then we do not know whether the army will deliver such. The generals have their own interests to protect, and we want to make sure that their candidate is successful. Gift Peters, welcome. Prime Secure, welcome. Round Gaikandi, Tadwasha. What if Mugabe refused to go? Then what? You can count, I think Mugabe has been consistently stubborn. And I don't think that stubbornness would have been shaken by confinement. I think the difficulties that Mugabe will maintain, and I suspect he will do, that he is the de jure president of the Republic of Zimbabwe. And if he is, then there is a case to be made that he ought to be respected, finish his term. And he will argue that any alteration will be ultra vires the Constitution and therefore illegal. Spanda Yezo, so Tadiwasha, I don't know whether Mugabe will be a good client for anybody, because he has been a tit for too long. his sense of reality is not as fresh as yours. When he thinks about Zimbabwe and the air that we breathe, you may discover that the free air he last breathed was 1979. So his worldview is shaped and defined by things that happened before 1979. So I don't think that Mugabe is a good client to negotiate with. The fact that he is still there must cause some concern to you and others. Because if this change was like suicide, was momentary, and without any thinking, the moment you start to think and rationalize, you may find that Mugabe is equal to the argument. So Mugabe is always good at stitching legal and methodical arguments. So that's why I'm trying to bring some sense of balance in our discussion, so that we don't all blindly assume that the grass is green. You may discover that's not to be the case. Stefan Spandayezo, welcome. Stefan Denise Nelon's page, I need to come back to South Africa. You are welcome, my sister. We need you back. So this is your home from home. We also want to see you back. Tadiwasha, why are you ignoring my comments? I'm not ignoring. There's so many comments. So I thought of doing some justice, but I may give up in reading what people have already written, because I may be stopping. Maybe on that, not welcome. And the people who are listening, would you rather I just allow you to read and do what you need to do, and I leave you alone to do that? Then one source says, Manyame Yabe says Mnangagwa will take over and Mugabe has been forced to resign. Grace has left as per arrangements. She left with her kids. So that's what we're hearing, but nobody has got confirmation. So Taduaja said sorry. So do you want me to continue to read what you have said? Brian Daveni says Mugabe is gone. Where to? Where is Mugabe gone now? I didn't know he was gone. What is the latest on the impasse at as of 1400? Nothing new. Where did Lady Gaga go? It's rumored that she's in Namibia. Tadiwasha, you say Grace is reputed to be in Namibia. Stan Mahombe says a command center has been set up in Masvingo as we speak. The live feed is very informative. Thank you, Mr. Mawere. I'm based in Australia and really want to come back home. Mike Shamiarira Jr. So, Michael, yeah. Russian revolution is happening in Zimbabwe, the Bolshevik revolution. Kevin Chinyangarara. Welcome, Kevin Machuki. This should happen in Kenya. I guess if it happens somewhere, once you break virginity once, what can happen now is just another story. What Nyadare, not at all. Koko Machoko, thank you. So I have finished there. So, who does have a burning question? I think I've answered most of the questions. You make me laugh. Who is Lady Gaga again? I'm just reading from what has been written. By deductive logic, Lady Gaga is the first lady. Temba Joffrey, I come back. Ali Chims, is Mugabe still President Ndukwe Tenger? Yes, President Mugabe is still president as we speak, but he is confined. He is in a wheelchair of power. He is in a frying pan. I guess some people may say he's got a grenade in his ass and somebody's got a fuse. So for the first time, Mugabe is having to think about what the next second will bring. So can you imagine what is going on in Mugabe's question, in Mugabe's mind? Just imagine and reimagine. After 38 years, then now you have to think, I can't go where I want. If there was a conference in Jamaica, you know Mugabe would want to go. Except today he can't go. Is that correct? That Mugabe can't go anywhere.
Not today, though.
Even he can't go anywhere. Mugabe can't go anywhere for the first time in his life. He is in a wheelchair of power. And I think Sarah Jones liked the grenade. Okay, what's the way forward? What's the minister saying about it? There's talk of Mnangagwa being sworn in as new president. Is that a legitimate move? And on what authority? I think there's a lot of talk, but there is a difficulty that needs to be handled with finesse. The only problem is that the Constitution is what may be a poison pill. So I don't know what's going on, but if you were to have a constitutional discussion without these blinkers, because people are so happy, they don't want to be dampened by intellectual analysis or critical thinking. I guess it's not the right time for us to talk about the real thing out. Let someone push him out of that wheelchair to a homemade stool. Rob is gone. Can you explain what is going on in Zimbabwe? Sorry, asking. What is going on in Zimbabwe is something called what do you call it? An innovative coup. It's an innovation in the department of coup d'etats. So if we were to look at coup d'etats, what we know, Ali, is that Mugabe no longer enjoys the freedoms that he used to enjoy for 38 years in government. That for the first time, there are people who are guarded not to accept his instructions, but to limit his wishes. So that's an innovation in coup d'etats, where you are in power, but not in power. Is that, it doesn't sound real.
He's being told what to do and what not to do.
He is in power without the power that power entails. So he is inside, but lonely inside. TCA says Mugabe is being forced to rest is a threat to his life. I wonder if he is asleep as usual. I think Mugabe is not sleeping. Why has Mugabe not said anything yet? He has not said anything yet because he's not allowed to say anything. What do you call it? When you are a fugitive. No. You are a hostage, is it?
Yeah.
The Boko Haram, what do they take?
You bet hostage, of course.
You are a hostage. Yeah. He is in power but stripped of power. I guess I don't have a better English for it. Mnangagwa is not acting president, but there are rumors that he is a prospective one. So the only way for Mugabe to vacate office, it's set out in the Constitution. He can be sick. They can encourage him to be sick. They can encourage him to say, is it keep your England what?
Yeah, keep your England and then I'll keep my Zimbabwe.
Keep your England and I'll keep my Zimbabwe. So I think that's what he's negotiating now. Will this situation put the commander in trouble of some sort? I guess if the president, the commander-in-chief and the head of state and government of the Republic of Zimbabwe is a hostage in his own house, who is the boss? That's the quiz for the day. Yeah, the two guys who got killed at Chombo's house were part of a hired mercenary team. I think they were from Israel. They were from Israel. So we have a tricky situation. The boss is now a hostage, and the people who he's supposed to report to, the people who are supposed to report to him are in charge. In the kitchen. Yeah. So this is a unique situation in Zimbabwe. I think maybe in the world, maybe in history, it has never happened for a president, the commander-in-chief, to be imprisoned by his subordinates, and still the subordinates say they are actually doing it in his name and in his favor. It's so... Philip Chiangwa has issued a video, and he says he's a free man. So that's the last record. He was at his office, and he was saying that he is not anywhere near, he is not a government officer, and as such, he doesn't have any case against him. So Philip is saying it's not really, I am not one of them. So PC has spoken, and if he was with them before, now he is not with them. But I saw him Arum post story, but I think now he is no longer a impostor. So I think the president may be sleeping and not yet woken up to the fact that something has happened in Zimbabwe. So let's hear Philip Chiangwa.
In my office here at 160 Enterprise Road, and I slept at my house. And my kids are in the next office. They have a meeting here, a family meeting. So apart from me traveling for football, which is probably this afternoon or tomorrow, I am not being sought after in my life. I've never been a government minister. I've never been anything that is a disease on anybody's life. I've just been doing my own thing. People get
But tell it, please.
I am just about making money and running my football. So I'm safe in Zimbabwe. Please take note of that. This falsehoods being peddled all over. They put my name against people who have been cabinet ministers where I haven't been. What were I doing with them? Huh? When I don't try, guys, I don't know. So don't please peddle falsehoods. I am safe and I'm okay. And I'll be traveling for my football engagements and bringing football to Zimbabwe. People playing football. That's all I do. So please, let's leave lies, propaganda out of this.
But what's important for you to know is, Vice President.
Yeah. It seemed never as though he talks football. Is there no... Like Shaggy, I wasn't there. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. I'm only in football. So that's the way it goes. Or same WhatsApp group, Google says, Chiangwa is in the same WhatsApp group. Okay, Godson. Is Mugabe still the president of Zimbabwe? Yes, creatively he is. But realistically, he is called, what do they call it? A glorified prisoner. Yeah? So Mugabe is a glorified prisoner. He may enjoy some other...
For the first time. 37 years.
Yeah. And Mugabe is being forced to rest is a threat to. But doctor, this has been an ongoing process, forced to do things against his will. The two guys who got killed, the chomp, okay. So what are ZANU-PF supporters, Mugabe and Y supporters thinking at the moment? Imagine you had to penetrate the people in Zimbabwe. Imagine you were to get into President Mugabe's mind. One day you are firing somebody, the next day you are negotiating. We have heard that Grace is in Namibia, but no confirmation yet. Who is Lady Gaga? Richard Salila. Lady Gaga, according to arithmetic, in the circumstances we are talking about, the only person you would call Lady Gaga would be the First Lady. Okay. The update is that as Mugabe made any public announcement, Mugabe is a hostage Christian. Mugabe is no longer a free man. He will only be freed once he maybe agrees to do what the coup is meant to do. I think it was clear what he needed to do before the decision to do what is happening is made. Rodney, there cannot be any swearing in until the current one has been dealt with. So, you can be rest assured that there are negotiations taking place. When is the new president taking office? Peter, it's a presumptuous question at this stage. We don't know whether any new president will be there or not. What we do know is that there is the problem.
The army is in charge. And
the army is in charge.
And Zuma sent a convoy.
And Zuma sent some envoys.
Yeah.
So anything is possible. So please don't celebrate. Allow another 24 hours. I think it will become clear. Because imagine President Mugabe for 48 hours not being a president. That's a quiz for you. Yeah?
That's a serious torture for you.
Can you just imagine President Mugabe's president being suspended for 48 hours where he doesn't know that he's in charge? Just imagine that scenario. I'm told the same thing, and don't think about I have to sing otherwise in Nova. Okay, so I will learn to be responsible. I wonder who, with all that intelligence. So how was this movement planned? I wasn't part of the planning. I can only observe and admire the people. Anyone with Jonathan's pictures, please share them. Angola and DRC threatened to put boots on the ground if any harm comes on Mugabe. And there's a delay in silence. Alma was just provoking. Mugabe is a failure. He destroyed the country, which has a lot of potential. Aaron Jenner. Is it true that some ministers have been arrested? Yeah. We can confirm that some ministers indeed have been arrested. And we understand some are leaving the country. Say, Gugu, say you sound very intelligent and well informed. Thank you very much. Mika Mbamu. SMM Pamberina, you already have my CV. Okay, Sarah Jones, is it possible that maybe his guard subordinates are too scared to tell Mugabe he is in charge? They just keep saying, yes, Mr. President. Yes, President Mugabe. And then ignoring what he says. So he doesn't know yet. I think after 38 years, Sarah, of having your way, imagine just a second of not having your way. It's very painful. So I don't think it would take a day for President Mugabe to discover that something has happened. Because imagine there's a trip to go to another country to attend a conference. And then you are told, Your Excellency, it's not appropriate for you to leave the country. And he says, why? And he says, why? He says, no, it's not the right time yet. Imagine the psychological part, just of adjusting Sarah to being told, this you can't do, now you can't go to the office, now you can't receive this. Because now imagine for 2 days you don't have visitors. Just imagine you are President Mugabe. You are being told no visitors to see you. And you have always been the boss for all these years. Remember Ceausescu and his wife. Remember Gaddafi. Gaddafi actually didn't know what it meant to be normal. If you stay too long in a position, it's very difficult for you to adjust to being normal. The normal becomes abnormal. So 38 years, if it was a mortgage of 20 years, you'll have 2 lifetimes staying without paying rent. Then somebody says, can you start paying rent? You know what happened in 1991 when Kaunda lost the election to Chiluba? You know how traumatic it was. When Kaunda used to say my home, he meant State House. For the first time, Kaunda had to adjust to this abnormal thing called I have to find a new home. And say, how much does it cost?
It's the same.
I want to go to Malaysia.
The first family.
How much is the first class ticket? Things that we've never asked for before. So it's not so easy, guys, to imagine the alternative of what I'm used to. Whoever takes over will be just as corrupt. My only thoughts are that they are corrupt enough to have the country's and the people's best interests. Yeah, change. Just imagine, what is corruption? And corruption is a friend of all human beings. Already as we speak, other people are receiving congratulations. And Professor Moyo, let's see, has he tweeted today? And you see how soon you lose friends just by being talked about without your consent. Right now, people are asking about people. Last, the people have spoken. Tuesday's cabinet day, his last tweet that he pinned was 18 hours ago. And that's, there is nothing more. So life can change so quickly, so dramatically.
Just like that.
Just like that. It's like life and death. Even Jonathan Moyo has lost a lot of friends in 24 hours. Some who were his tweeting partners, he can no longer tweet anymore. And it will become evident every day that lapses. That all of us were just too human. Kwaen, Dara, Parak, Lemanono, all the way Kenya, we support what is happening in Zimbabwe. Kanyanga, Rodney, any statement from MDC, not that I know of. Aaron Jena Zuma and SA Sadek can go hang. When Mugabe rigged the elections, they chose to turn a blind eye. Are you sure RG is still breathing? Love. If he was dead, I think it's a significant step. Even President Zuma will not send anyone to a dead person.
They spoke.
So they spoke, and something is happening. Vanessa Bastos, thanks for information. Duque, for 38 years, Noma becomes abnormal. I like this. Rama Yellow, Sally Brooker, so true. Mawer Makwita comedian Chaiye. I was in Zambia for the election, yeah, I remember. Joe Mukura, hello, it's true. So where is Jonah? I don't know. What about Mpoko? I don't know. Culture Magazine, who are you supporting? I don't know whether Culture Magazine, whether the conditions have arisen for me to support anyone. What I can support is the principle, not the persons. What is the principle at stake here? The country called Zimbabwe is a human being in intensive care unit. There is no doctor who can cure the ailment that has worsened every day of independence. Where do you start? Where do you start if you were to even to support anything? Because whatever has happened should have happened a long time ago. Imagine people who are in graveyards who died expecting this Zimbabwe or this day. What would you say to them? Imagine President Mugabe learning in the last 24 hours what it means just to be a human being. Just learning how therapeutic it is to say, actually, nothing matters anymore. There is no meeting that I have to go to. There is nothing that I have to rush to. There is no one that I have to see. There is nothing I have to be quoted. Imagine 2 days, there is no news, and you're just listening to old songs.
They won't.
They won't. People are looking forward to news time, president this, president that. The last 24 hours, actually to wake up and live through the day with nothing said about President Mugabe. Is it normal? Is it transformation of the abnormal into normal? This is what you have to consider when you analyze this day. You may be on the opposite side. For some of us, We never thought that President Mugabe would spend one day without ZBC covering him, without the Herald putting him on the front page. Just imagine what this day means.
It's historic.
It's a historic day because for the first time it is now possible for President Mugabe to ask for the Herald and find it's blank. And he's talking about soldiers doing what? Where? How? Yeah? So it's not so easy. Somebody says Superman, who is in charge at the moment. I think that we know the soldiers are in charge, but I don't know how the command structure is. Mr. Mahor, what's your take on the prophecy made by T.B. Joshua? He said the military will kidnap the president or his wife. He's already kidnapped, but he's not a kid. So I think if T.B. Joshua predicted, then he's on the money. So it would be hard for anyone to bring Zimbabwe back to life. I think you are right. But wherever you have human beings, anything is possible. And people can stitch things together in such a short period of time. GNU yakaipa here pakadai.
Could be the next person.
I think any conversation, I can't say yakaipa. But power itself corrupts. And some people may say, this is a revolution against the values that MDC represents. Because they are saying Jonathan is actually a product of imperialism. And this fight is against imperialism. You may not like it, but that's what is being said. Kuzanai, so are you saying that Zimbabwe, we are leaderless at the moment? I'm saying the person who is supposed to lead is being led. So Kuzanai, if the leader, the so-called leader is being led by the so-called followers, what does the leader become? Life can change in a split second. A cesspool has been made of the blood of our ancestors, the life sacrificed. Matara too said, Mugabe is an old man, we need to let him be at peace, no matter how ill thoughts of him. Wow, what a way to leave a legacy, what a way to go out. If we ask him, and he thought 40 years ago this would be his legacy, too sad. I like your analogy, Mr. Mawere, Fred Mfema. Normal becomes abnormal. That's the perfect explanation of the situation Mugabe has put himself in. He has been led for some time. Now let's be honest. Why is Grace Mugabe? Moral lesson, this nation will remain the land of the free only so long as it is the home of the brave. Okay? Why is Grace Mugabe even thought of as a successor of Mugabe? The Mugabes are not a royal bloodline that inherit power. I'm only 17. I can't speak for all, but for most of my age, we need a fair voting system that sees people of Zimbabwe select their own leader and be able to call for any leader to step down, if and when they fail to uphold the duties as leader. Augusto Kamba. When we have another problem, if EG comes into power, again, that's a question in the floor. Talent Ginger, bring back Mujuru plus Mnangagwa and Tangai, so we have a peaceful starting point. Again, that's a suggestion on the table. Do you think it's democratically to remove the president with the power of the army? Again, that's a Sakumzi. Isn't this going to be the same pattern after putting a president by power? The relation of the person who wants to be the president with the army. Mugabe should be left. He has done a lot, but it's time now. Still hold the highest respect for him. It's disgusting. See people now disrespecting him. Yeah. He has been late. Yeah. So here we are. We've done our stint. So thank you very much. We shall come back to when we get something new. Hope you have enjoyed it, and it's something of value. So any last comments, or if you think it's a good conversation, please tell us. Please stop chewing. It does not look good. Yeah, okay. Moripi Omaweri, I'm in South Africa. Tino Maoko in China. Thanks. So, any last words so that I can chew without you watching, Noah? Because I've been chewing with you watching. It's not good. Kuzanai, thank you very much. Lionel Shumba, thank you very much. Gerald, it's always okay. We'll wait for the tune in. Thank you. Lionel Shumba, thank you. Chiwuri's house in Seke, Manyambara, invaded by a convoy of private cars, men in suits carrying firearms, gatemen and gates roughed up. They should just announce the way forward. Go have lunch, cut, stood that. Thank you from Sweden, Sarah Jones, Linda Gale, hello, John Mukura, thank you. Caleb Twine, where is first family? Now it may be the last family in Zimbabwe. So let's not call it the first family anymore until we know what happens. You are doing a good job, Gerald, thank you. What do you think is the future of Zimbabwe? Wena Onismo. Let's talk about Kenya. Let's talk about Zimbabwe. Let's talk about Zambia. Let's talk about South Africa. Let's continue the conversations. There's a lot that we can learn from each other. There are things that are inevitable, the things that were supposed to happen, and they are happening. Let's also find a way to negotiate a future that makes all of us count, not generals only. May I have your cell number? Need to discuss. Enoch Matundu. Yes, you can inbox me and I'll give you the cell phone number. Davinia Bezentewood, Emanuela 10 watching. Well done, proud to be Zimbabwean. It is done peacefully. What will happen on Friday? We want peace. You should be president. Me or Chwenga. So I'll tell Chwenga that why don't you consider being a president? You never know. What happens to your party? Douglas Njira, if I had a party, I would close the party. I want Linda Gale to be president. That's what I'm waiting for.
From length.
Army Command Center moved to Masvingo according to SABC report, Lance Guma. And Ausi what Grace Ere, Big Mike. I wish I was amazing Grace Big. What kind of person do you think can be one of another? Do you really see me belonging to somebody else? Big, I salute you for being you. So also salute me for being me. The moment you reduce me to be of another person, then you are actually saying something. And let's us, Big Mike, let's us start to treat each other. When you see another human being, don't take them to be agents of others, puppets of others, surrogates of others. Just salute them. Because it's hard to be alive anyway. If you find someone alive without asking for food from you, please, big Makuramba Mese Nana Firipa Diva. I have nothing to refuse. I was never part of anything. If I talk to you, I don't belong to you. If I eat with you, I don't belong to you. Whatever it is, Biggie, never be the judge of other people, because you are human yourself. So don't be superhuman, don't be exceptional. Just be you. The way you speak and your wishes for the country, we need people like you. Thank you, Linda. Whereas Linda sees something, Biggie sees in me a puppet, a surrogate, a swine. That's not right. Cladson, you may have, yes, I can give you many videos. What does a video show, Biggie? You could be married with someone for 70 years and the person dies and you go to the funeral. They say this man had another family without you knowing. Don't be a little god, Biggie. Just be human, it's enough. It's not about companies. It's about getting things right so that we have the country that we deserve. We need a country of rules. We don't need a country where somebody can wake up in the morning and they say, you are a criminal and you become a criminal because somebody wants you to be a criminal. We want a country where Biggie will begin to treat other people like himself. So we need a country where we respect each other. We need a country where everybody counts. Imagine a country of one person. Would that be beneficial? Would that be desirable? We need a country of diverse people. We don't need a country of people say the same thing, or people look alike, or think alike. We need a country of people who are normal, not abnormal. So I do hope that we can begin to rise above the little things that divide us. So do you think Ngwena can put the pieces together? It's not Ngwena who puts the pieces together, Ashley. It's you and me. When we begin to respect each other, it doesn't matter who is in State House. That's a glorified prisoner. What matters is me and you. We are talking. Like Tonderai is saying, Mandisoza, what is your view on the best way forward? He wants me to be a Mugabe, where I have an opinion on everything. I don't want to know that which I don't know. I don't want to know that which I don't know. I'm happy not knowing what is in the universe. I don't know what is the best way forward. Like George Washington said, I walk on untrodden path. I walk on untrodden ground. Every day things I do are actually a precedent. There is nothing that has prepared me to be talking to you this day. But I am talking to you because of grace. Not amazing grace, but grace that allows me to be here with you and being able to give up my time to talk to you. So, let us start by being honest with what life is. I don't have, Tonderai, any best way forward. I don't even know what the next second will bring. Tomorrow you may find I'm gone, I'm dead. Like yesterday, there are people who were guarding Chombo, and today they are no longer with us. Did they plan it? Did they know what other people were planning? When they saw the army going into the street, did they have an idea that what was in store was their lives? So, I thought it's because of Grace Mugabe. Yeah, grace, the grace itself, unmerited favor. When we say amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. It means I am not deserving of talking to you, but yet we have come together in this arena and we have exceeded 20,000, 30,000 people coming together to share one screen. That's remarkable. Imagine we had to go to a stadium and you have to present yourself to listen to my voice. But now we have allowed so many people to hear this conversation. And in so doing, we are broadening and deepening the space that can lift us all up. So what is it that we are talking about is more important than just gathering. If we are going to talk about who was seen on whose video, then imagine the time unspent. That time is not yours. Whatever has happened in the past has happened. I can't change it. So we need to be more. Philip Aramba Zauguita Anana. Philip, I wasn't there. I'm not there. If that's what he says, that's what he says. I can't get into Philip's mind to say, because you were you were there. This body may not have been in Trufaro Stadium. But what if his mind was elsewhere? Chiango was roughed up, you know that. So, we need to put the past behind us. It is the only way. That's what Linda is saying. Listen, Binky. If you got ghosts in your head, please exorcise yourself of ghosts. There is more to gain from the whispers of tomorrow. Rear view mirror will always be a rear view mirror. It's for us to learn. That's why we're sharing experiences. Not that we say, get back SMM, then what? Let's share the experiences, Biggie. Understand what I have learned in my own life, what you have learned in your own life. When we combine it, we don't create a third person. we remain ourselves. Whatever we've experienced remains with us. We cannot combine pain and give it a new name. We cannot combine happiness and give it a new name. We will always remain individuals. Whoever is the president, we cannot combine his happiness and my happiness and then say, I'm happy because you are happy. No. Let's not be minimalist. Let's seek higher ground, not lower ground. Let's not go back to where we have come from. Let's move on. I have a feeling things is going to get better. People can start again, build up that beautiful country. We just need more people like you sharing our thoughts and having a collaboration of different cultures and people. That is what life is meant to be. Big Mike. If you are Big Mike, be big in your mind. Be big in your thinking. Be big in your actions. Don't be a big man, carry a big name with double G. Then at the end of the day, you are not getting there.
You must buy this copy.
Yeah.
Where's Big Mike?
A Big Mike is there.
Big Mike, I've got a copy for you. You must buy this copy. Is it? Can you see properly? When Minds Meet by Mr. Mawere. I think you gotta have this. It'll open your mind.
Thank you. I wrote a book after frustration of people like Biggie. You gave a big name.
You must get that copy.
Yeah, I said let our minds meet on power, even on simple ideas like power, patronage. Because what Biggie is saying, that I am an agent of another human being.
It's crazy.
And this is what we've reduced ourselves to. That Chiwenga is an agent of Mnangagwa. What if Chiwenga is Chiwenga? Have you ever thought of it? How many people are congratulating Mnangagwa? On a stand, Mnangagwa was fired. How many days ago? A week ago. Chiwenga steps in. And the reverse gear comes in. This is what we forget in life. That each one of us is a sovereign. Is not an agent. So each one of us are already stocked with the inherent power to do the impossible, to imagine, to be creative, to be innovative. I cannot pass on my innovation to somebody else. I'm not crazy. Where Uriku background, I don't know. You background here. Oh, you mean Tino? He is not saying that you are crazy.
I'm not saying I'm mad.
No. He's saying we let our minds meet.
Yes, yeah.
Your mind and my mind. Not meet on the basis of who I see you within a video. So let's try to think outside this box.
Let's reason together.
Let's reason together. Let's not succumb to this minimalist binary that them and us. Because you never know what is in someone's mind, Biggie. All he's saying is there is already, I wrote that book, and the title is called When Minds Meet. Minds meet, not bodies meet. Right now, our minds are together. Let's not waste our minds by talking about trivialities, about personalities, about Mnangagwa instead of Chiwenga. If it's Chiwenga that we are talking about, let's identify him. Let's talk to him. Let's understand his mind. A day scholar is a worried person. I hope I understand what you are saying. The anatomy of state capture, the future I want in Zimbabwe. This is the way forward I was looking for. Building Zimbabwe for all of us. Lionel, I'm so much appreciative about what you have just done. I've been having an unanswered question. Now I know some of the speculations are true. Linda girl, you are a good man. Getting us all together, different cultures speaking together in one platform. I wish you all the luck and continue this work. You are a man of the people. I'll follow your videos in future. Africa is the future. We are the future, Linda. You and I, we can choose to be something. And that something will be bigger than the two of us. The moment we reduce ourselves to groups of people, to affinity, say you and you belong to so and so, why are you agreeing with Mawere? If I say something nonsensical, you must have the wisdom and humility to tell me off. But don't talk to me about who you saw with a video. Delroy Chipumiro, Baba Mataura, Siana Nevano, Amugaba, they like a boy who just, they are like a boy who just been dumped by a girl. No, it's not a big, he's talking on behalf of many people. There are many people, by provoking that, by igniting that, I salute Big A, because some people say nothing. Yet they have a lot to say. Behind you, they will gossip about the same thing. They will go into their WhatsApp groups and talk about the same thing when they can talk to me. So Biggie, it's not you that I'm talking to, but it is the mind that I'm talking to. It is that mind that we need to be able to build on. Do you have plans for the Shabani community? I told you, Zewa, but when I saw you bootlicking Grace, I felt like down. I don't know what bootlicking is. If you saw me licking her boot, please take that video with me licking. But don't assume that when people are together, they are together. I said when minds meet, not bodies meet. So never read someone's mind until you ask them what they think on issues that matter. You may find, Big, that me and you, we have more that is in common than what divides us. Yet you have closed your mind because of a video. The video only tell you what the day was. Imagine there was no video. Then you would respect me. But meanwhile, I am your real enemy. So let's not be judgmental in life. Let's be the human beings that life promises us to be. So Delroy Chipumiro say, yeah, so Big may have seen me licking someone's ass. So look at the ass of Grace, then see me licking it. Then you understand what Big is saying. And he says he's got that video. So let him send to us the video where I'm licking the ass of Grace. And how big the ass is. And how did I do it? Okay. So I'll give you the update later. And then, boss says, do you have any plans for Shabani? So, yeah, Tahiti Mukosera, you got you see what happens in a mind over matter spiritual doctrine. Wells Nyauma, thank you. When you look at SMM, let's understand why SMM is where it is. You may discover things that you don't know. Once you know them, the questions that you ask will also be different. I trust that you think SMM was closed. It was a decision. For me, I think if you want to know more, let's not do that. I don't hate you, Ziva. Let's not mislead people. Let's not mislead people. No, you don't have to. I mean, you are a good friend because you say what you think. And Delroy, he's not diverting us from the real issue, because what divides us is more pronounced than what unites us or ought to unite us. So if we cannot deal with because there are some people who are generally silent, even on things that matter. They would want other people to take the lead intellectually, physically, and everything, and remain on the sidelines of history. If you look at the last 38 years of Zimbabwe, there are people who have constructively become bystanders, spectators, watching vuvuzelas, watching from the terraces, hoping that tomorrow is somebody else's business. And Tite, you are good to ask the question about SMM. And how many people don't understand the facts? How many people, when my name is mentioned, they actually don't know who I am? So, Biggie, I like you. I have no qualms. If you achikanganisa ngauzwe, where I've gone wrong, if being seen with the First Lady is wrong, then the best way is to eliminate people who must not be seen with. But life doesn't give us the privilege of deciding who we meet and who we engage. It doesn't mean we agree. You can be my neighbor. I still have to cooperate with you. I don't have to hate you, because I can't choose who is my neighbor. If I had to choose who should be in Zimbabwe, whatever new Zimbabwe you want to call it, where would I start? I hope, Biggie, you will exclude me from your future, because you have already believed that what you saw in a video is sufficient for you to create a future that excludes others because of a video. Life is too complicated. It's not an event. We all live through journeys. Every step of the way, we don't know where life takes us. I'm talking to you, I don't know who you are. But it so happens that what we are talking today, 100 years from now, 1,000 years from now, they will know us because we have chosen to talk to each other. But if you think I'm wrong because you are right, then it can never be right. Machona Liwayo, keep up the good work, say, all that you give to others will be given unto you. Thank you. So I think we have more work to do. We have the mind to think and use to think about the future challenges we face. Let's use the windscreen, not the rear view mirror. The rear view mirror takes us to a reverse gear. Where we want to go forward, you see progress in going backwards. What are we going to do to discover that which we already have been revealed to us? Let's find motion to go forward, to change, to solve problems. They are problems indeed. Let's solve them together. Thank you. We will meet again on this platform.